Welcome to the FMCG podcast. Make sure you're following us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave us a 5-star review. It really helps us out. Enjoy the show.
Hi, my name is Rich, and we're Consumer Hub, and we focus on recruitment within the consumer sector. And this is the FMCG podcast where we speak to some of the most interesting people we can get our hands on and hear their stories about what they're doing in their businesses and also in their careers and their professional lives. Today we've got Harry and Lucy on the show, and they're from Martee's Vending. And we want to get right into the detail on the story, the mission, and what's going on there. So thank you so much for coming on the show today. Guys, really appreciate your time. I'm sure our listeners will do as well. Can you just give us a really top line into you and what you're doing at the moment with Martee's?
Cool. Hi guys, I'm Harry. I'm co-founder and CEO of Martee's. And this is
Lucy. Hi, I'm Harry's co-founder and I am the COO here at Martee's, and we're super excited to be on the show.
Amazing. Thanks for coming on. So first question for me. So for anyone that's listening, watching, kind of not familiar with Martee's, who is Martee's? What is Martee's? What are you doing? And what's the brand all about?
cool. Yeah. So at Martee's, we believe the future is going to be in automated micro retail. So we are building a network of micro stores with fresh, healthier food in different location settings throughout initially London, but then the UK. But it's all powered by the Martee's brain. So we're building a forecasting product behind the scenes that's essentially going to allow us to predict what food we stock in it and what location. So it's all powered by AI, by data, and we plan to scale that throughout the UK. Without any more to that.
I think that was a very, very good summary.
Amazing. So just look, I mean, that is fascinating. I've seen some cool vending solutions before, but the fact that it's kind of AI, it's got a brain, it's in the forecaster as well, that is next gen vending, like I'm guessing, none of us have seen before. What's giving you that idea? Like, where's it come from? It's really interesting.
Yeah, so Harry and I both come from backgrounds in food and retail, and we've recognised this problem through a lot of our network, a lot of people we've been speaking to, where there's just not the same level of footfall on the high street. And so food businesses are really struggling to get traction with customers in the way they used to. And they're increasingly dependent on like third-party logistics, last mile, things like that, which take massive cuts as well from their margins. And so we identified this opportunity where on the one hand, you've got these brands that are looking for new kind of revenue streams, kind of omni-channel and all that. But you've also got people who are sort of eating differently, shopping differently. So that, they're working from home, they're eating on the go. So it feels like there's this opportunity to capture this decentralized demand by putting food in other places in new ways. And there's also at the same time this focus on, less processed food, HFSS coming in, all that sort of thing. And it basically just means that there's this really interesting opportunity in putting fresh food, specifically fresh, healthier products in these new locations. The challenge with that is, as we all know, fresh food is really hard to get right, and if you get it wrong, it's expensive because food waste is a really costly problem. So the kind of only way that we see this working is by being really clever, being really data led, and say, A, based on the data, where's the best place to put a micro store? Where's the demand strong enough? And B, in that location, how do we best position our assortment, create our assortment in order to service the people that go there? So there's this really interesting opportunity, and that's how we see us tackling this kind of new food retail environment, if you like.
Nice, right, that's really interesting. I love the fact that you're calling it a micro store as well. That's like a really good way, and I guess, just changing the narrative around food as well, because it just moves the needle straight away from vending you associate with a red box in the corner of an office. It's a bit tired, it's the old chocolate bar. Yeah, that other two.
We also
We're so interested.
Yeah, we're not, as you said, we're not vending. I think vending's associated, I suppose, with ultra processed, unhealthy snacks, long life products in there. Now, while we do a range of ambient long life products, they're on the healthier side, and as well, we do long life food, but also drinks as well. And a lot of our brands are cool, up and coming challenger brands on that side. And then we pair that, which is our main offering, with fresh, healthier food for some of the UK's best brands. And we're really working with some amazing brands that everyone will know. Toss, for example, the salad chain, I think everyone's heard of. They have quite a few stores in London, and we're basically taking those brands, putting them to different locations, as Liz said, in decentralized locations, which is really interesting. Also worth saying that Martee's was born out of the Founders Factory and Nesta Mission Studio. So we've got two investors that's backed us from the start. Founders Factory, I'm sure a lot of listeners will know them. Big VC investor that grow businesses from the start. And then Nesta, who are the UK government's innovation arm. So they are both back on the side, one from the impact side from Nesta and one from the commercial side. And both have been incredible from the start. On top of this main project comes down from one of Nesta's main initiatives, which is to reduce obesity by half by 2030. And our business, as we see it scaling, we look to be a player to move that needle in some way.
Amazing. So there's a real mission there around, kind of health as well as convenience. And so for micro retail then, there's obviously like a kind of huge trend that you're tapping into. But like the micro retail terms, I'm sure it depends. Is this like your own term that you come with? Is it a term somebody else has used before? Like it's the first time I've heard of it when I've just encountered your business and actually love it and kind of what it signifies. But like where have you got the term from? I'm actually interested in kind of the roots of it there.
I thought we've used a few times interchangeably and sort of settled on this kind of micro store concept because there's obviously this growing trend around micro markets, which are sort of these unattended self-checkout, almost like a miniature Sainsbury's or Tesco checkout. We didn't want to bracket ourselves within that micro market space specifically because a lot of what we do is more tech enabled. So we're working with smart fridges, which have cameras, which, are contactless and all these sorts of things. So we didn't want to bracket ourselves within that. But at the same time, what we are doing is effectively building a store, but in a really, rationalized modular way, which it gives us the flexibility to move it, which gives us the flexibility to monitor what's being sold and to capture better data. There's all these kind of benefits. So I suppose it was just a kind of, well, what is it in the most concise terms? And that was where we landed.
Great, I love it. So the mission that you're on, so what types of products and brands like really, really fit with it? You've touched on it there, Harry, but, just to kind of distill for us like the essence of the partners that you basically want and that need to fulfill the mission.
Yeah, so obviously we come from this health background. We have the Nesta mission around addressing obesity, and so we're looking for brands which are really aligned with our health ethos as well as our sustainability ethos. So obviously doing what we're doing, we're not a last mile company. There are a lot of benefits environmentally to the aggregation that we do. We're also looking for an electric fleet. We're really passionate about bringing on board brands which are aligned in terms of our sustainable goals as well as our health goals. The challenge, I suppose, with creating a healthier assortment is that you equally want to give people choice and give people what they want. So what we're looking to do is bring on board brands who are aligned at a high level with our mission, certainly which are kind of brands which will draw consumers to our products. So right now we're working with a few kind of key brands. For example, Perfect Ted have been great. We've been working with them. We're working with Toss, the salad company, and there's a few others as well in our ambient range that are worth flagging. But essentially just brands that are a combination of real mission-driven, healthier brands. And then some of these recognized flagships as well, because we ultimately want to give people choice, not enforce healthy food on people that don't want it. So it's this kind of tricky balancing act where we're just trying to create a better option than what's currently available, which is generally, a bag of crisps and a can of Coke. So
yeah, I think the term healthier is what we're looking to do. And like I said, we're not putting just salads in the machines. We're making it appealing to people who want to do that. So from a high level, we're putting dark chocolate in there. We're not putting milk chocolate in there, right? So there's different aspects. Some of the other brands, we've got like barbells, protein bars, Eat Real, hummus chips, proper corn, etc., grind coffee. So really cool
work with
brands.
Fresh soups
as well. So different cool brands that are on that healthier side of the spectrum that's going to make people either more productive, feel good, and be better in the day.
Great. That's really interesting. The name itself, Martee's, where did that come from?
Well, it was actually the first original name of the business was actually called Sexy Greens, which is a bit like Marmite for quite a few people.
What? Sexy Greens?
Sexy Greens. That was the first name for a couple of weeks. And some people loved it and got it. Some people absolutely hated it. So we pivoted and really the name was born. I was hoping of a new name for a couple of weeks, and woke up on a Saturday morning and was like, we've got a retail side to what we're doing, and a lot of retail brands, M&S, Girls, their names of people.
Yeah.
And then the kind of supermarket, Mart came, and then I woke up as like, Martees. And it just came to me one morning. And I thought, yeah, great name. And we put a double E in there, Martees, to give it a distinctive feel for us. Yeah, that was how Martees was born.
Love it. I always love finding out where the names come from.
What do you think of the name?
I love it. No, it's very memorable, actually. I do like Sexy Greens, I have to say, but, you know, I think Sexy Greens will work in Wakefield. It might not work in some other areas.
Yeah, it's meant to buy some of our customers. So we, yeah.
It's definitely a more loaded name than Martees. Martees has got more universe feel, but it's catchy as well. Like it's, yeah, I think it's, for me, it's almost like a homage to that kind of, I don't know, that mom and pop store feel to it, which I like, because it's kind of, yeah, just captivating that, you know, good to you vibe. I think that I'm not a fan of massively corporate names. I've even stood here next to a donut logo. So obviously corporate's not my thing, but I just think, to know that there's so many big corporate players as well. You know, if you're small, I always think, why try and outcompete corporate doing corporate? You just far better to be known for something, aren't you, that's distinctive and just do it really well. And mine definitely seems to do that, so it's good for me. But if you ever want to franchise Sexy Greens, let me know. I might give it a spinning Wakefield.
Yeah. Well, there might be a sub brand there in the future in the making, maybe. So we'll see.
Yeah, you just keep me posted. So the new thing that I guess I'm really interested in people knowing is, like, where are you at the moment? Where do people find you?
Yeah, so currently we're in a range of workspaces and hospitals in London. We're starting there to build up our operations, our logistics around what we're doing. And then we're actually about to launch into an EV charging hub, which is quite interesting as well. So that's a new to market. An EV charging hub.
Oh, right, wow, brilliant.
Yeah. That's something new that we're looking to push ahead with. And yeah, we're open to, we're exploring different routes like universities, transport hubs, airports, you name it. Different places where people are, right, is what we're looking to do. Right now, believe it or not, we're only 7 months old. We're 7 months as a business from March. We didn't launch our first site until June, but we are already on 10 sites. So it's been rapid growth. And we plan to launch in 24 throughout the UK and not just in London, and scale up our operations. So yeah, if anyone that wants a Martee store in their office or wherever they are in those different settings I mentioned, give us a shout and maybe we can make it happen.
Hit us up.
That's so good to see you in hospitals. I mean, I've got young kids, so I feel like I'm not quite after the hospitals, coughs, colds, that kind of stuff. And yeah, you go down and it's like WH Smith's, and you know, most of it's just basic crap that's full of sugar. And then the cafe, everything's old, unless you can hit the canteen at like one of the key points that just serves some fresh food. It's just all so stale and bad for you. I know they made an effort, it's better than it used to be, but it still feels like it's really lacking something in terms of like that fresh quality. And yeah, I had some family members before, they've been in hospital for quite a while for stints, and the thing that they complain about the most is the food. It's like, yeah, sure, everyone's great if that's the props NHS and NHS is great, family great, but they just get all this chocolate and it's just not good for them. So that's great, like, definitely on message. Just kind of thinking about scalability, then, like, you mentioned that you're going to kind of grow and it's going to be a big push towards 24. Like, where do you see the ideal venues being moving forward? Are you planning any of the kind of typical FMCG activations at festivals, at kind of big venues, just for kind of from a marketing activation perspective? Kind of just, if you can share, I mean, obviously nothing confidential, but give us a sight into like how you see that sort of scaling, cascading, because I can imagine there's quite a few components to the recipe.
Yeah, so I think initially we have a huge market here in London, which is quite exciting in terms of our like immediate expansion plans. Certainly as a brand, we want to be doing a lot of activation stuff, and we've been leaning more into that when we open new venues as well. So we're really prioritizing, as I say, led by data, locations which have really great footfall. So there's a lot of opportunity and scope for us to do activation work there. And the Martee's brand really lends itself as well. I mean, our first site, Harry and I both dressed up with hats on and a little apron on, and we're giving out Martee's tote bags and all that. We love that kind of thing. So I think in terms of what the future holds, we have a lot of opportunity to do things like that. Our model's quite interesting because we work B2B2C. So we typically sell a Martee's store set up into a venue, like a hospital or a university or whatever, and then sell to customers through them. So predominantly our activations come through those locations. But I think there's, I don't know how much to disclose about some of the things we've been discussing this morning, but there's certainly something interesting on the horizon about some of our, how to put it, more mobile activation opportunities.
Yeah, there's a number of things. We're at the stage where we didn't actually expect to be on 10 sites at this stage. Like, we've got this waiting list of people wanting it, and at the moment where it's bonkers, and we're kind of in the position now where we're like, we've got this waiting list. We kind of want to refine our operations a bit in London with the rest of Q4 before we then launch to everyone else in 24. So we're in a really interesting spot. And as Lucy said, there's some really interesting opportunities, and like we're trying to be able to do rapid growth. So even though on one side we're kind of a retailer, I would call us a technology retailer. We're not, I suppose, burdened with huge, like, we're not a hardware company, right? We work with a third party company that does all our smart fridges technologies. We work with fresh food providers, and we're building this AI tool in the middle to operate everything and how it's going to work. So in a weird way, we've got the scalability of a B2B SaaS product, but with the physical aspect of a retailer that can scale rapidly throughout the UK. So in a really interesting place to be able to do that. Like, we can deploy a smart fridge like within a week, right? We can launch that within a couple of hours once it's on the site. So it's really quite exciting.
Really good to hear. Yeah, like I said, cheeky peek into some mobile activations as well. I love that. I'm intrigued. Stay peeled, everybody. You've got to follow the socials, see what Martees are doing. How do you bring? I mean, this sounds like a thick question now, but how do you bring in new customers? I mean, clearly it's an exciting concept. It's got meetups. It's very, very different. But outside of that, like, what does it look like in terms of the fun? I'm kind of coming from the angle they're thinking. There's people out there in their careers and they're thinking, I went for a startup, but how do you actually go about building a customer journey, a customer funnel? It's one thing to have a good idea, but you've got to make sure it hits the right people. How do you do that? How do you get that right?
Yeah, so from the B2B angle, obviously we're putting them into venues. So there's a business customer. There's obviously an end consumer. So we're kind of like B2B2C. So let's take B2B first, right? So really in March when I started this, it was like, where do we put these machines? And I just went and spoke to people. When I spoke to universities, workspaces, whether it's in office buildings or industrial estates, hospitals, went and spoke to different people and really refine, okay, where do we start? And then from there, it's a mixture of kind of cold outreach, warm leads. And now it's got to the point where we're just getting inbound the whole time. So it's split. But yeah, at the start, it's hustle. It's like, we've got this new concept. Please, one person, try it out, which was what it was at the start. And now it's flipped on its head. Like, everyone really wants it.
I think also from the venue perspective, like, there is a real impetus from any venue, be it a university or a workspace, whatever, to get people back in, because work from home, digital nomads, all this kind of stuff means actually for a commercial venue, it's really hard to attract footfall, and investing in something like a canteen is just not viable in a lot of cases. It's not flexible. It doesn't work on the down days when people aren't coming into the office or whatever. So this kind of modular middle ground feels like a really viable use of their budget and their space. So it's been quite well received, I think.
Yeah. And then in terms of the end consumer, so obviously that's B2B2C part of it. You're in venues where there's people there, so we don't have to have a huge marketing budget to basically get people to purchase our products, because we're where the people already are. So it's really exciting. And we also don't have to pay higher rent to be in these venues. Venues pay us to be there because they're looking for an amenity to be there to service people in there. So yeah, from a unit economics angle, it's stacking up quite well. But then also from getting customers, a customer acquisition angle, both on the business side, and then the consumer side, it's quite interesting because to get if you're pure B2C, it's hard to get customers to buy a brand. You lose like a lot of marketing down there. So it's quite exciting.
Yeah. I'd say our CAC is pretty low because the B2B customers that pay us do a lot of the work in terms of them promoting it to their people because they want to create a perk. But we do also work with, got some pretty strong socials channels. So our Instagram's pretty active and it's also quite fun. I think people enjoy following along with our journey. We're a startup, it's quite fun to buy from a brand like ours. And we do a lot as well in terms of customer engagement. So when we open a new venue, we like to hear feedback on what people want to see, and we do our best to try and put those sorts of products in as well, and to do lots of kind of sampling with new things. So it's quite cool on the side of the brands that we work with because they can test some of their MPD with us, but at the same time, customers get to try something a bit novel in the workspace. So normally all you've got is like a vending machine with a Mars bar in. So
Having like Mars bar.
How novel.
That's it. That's awesome. So it sounds like you get the holy grail of like, this amazing business model. So you got a B2B angle, but if you get it right, it's contributing to your unit cost, and they're doing the selling for you. They're putting in the right place, and then I suppose for you, it frees you up to kind of just focus on the core proposition, doesn't it, and looking after people and making sure everyone feels the love from Martee, which I guess is what it's about, isn't it?
Exactly.
Awesome. So just kind of rounding off then, won't be time, but what does a day in the life of a founder look like? People are always intrigued. Like, what goes on an all day? If there is even an all day.
It starts with a plan, and then it's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And normally you probably start your to-do list about 6 o'clock, and that's pretty much what happens. But no, it's good. I think there's that, as with startups, there's ups and downs the whole time, right? You're turning something from an idea into reality and pushing. But yeah, we like, in terms of us, we have stand up every morning with our team, which is at 9 o'clock every morning. We've actually, we missed it today, so they did it themselves because we're on the podcast. That's all good. We have that. That kind of sets the scene of the day, and then we're quite our team's quite autonomous. I think everyone gets on and does what they need to do and has the different areas and goes from there.
We're all foodies, so it gets quite exciting. We're doing a lot of new product like selection, trying things, got up and getting samples in, and we all get involved in that sort of stuff, which is really fun. We're all based in London. We come into the office a lot as well. As Harry said, the day normally starts with a plan. Somewhere around midday, there's a few fires to put out, as with any startup. And quite often it ends with, I'd say, probably the two of us stood with a whiteboard for the plan for the next day. Yeah,
no, it's quite good. And like it was like the other day, it was like in the morning, we did this investor pitch to 200 VCs, part of Founders Fitness community. Then we went to one of our sites where our team was and did some taste testing on a new range of suits that we're putting in. And then our data scientist, Fede, was like, oh, I've got an amazing uplift on our forecast. And it's like 81% reduction in waste or something he's managed to do across our sites, which is bonkers. He's like using these neural network forecast technology, which is amazing. So it's like different things are going on that's growing our business, and it's so interesting to have that at this early stage. So quite a lot of exciting things.
Yeah, there's also usually a bike ride of me and Harry across London, flying between meetings at some point in the day as well. We tend to get on the Lime bikes and whiz across between sites and meetings and stuff. We do a lot. Yeah,
I mean, I'm up north, so now unfortunately, but I want to speak down there. Loves them. Yeah, great.
We are thinking we should get like a company GoPro and film some of our events. Even one day. Harry. Yeah. One of our sites is next to the cable car, so Harry got the cable car to work one day as well. It's
my credit and the mayor's office is one of our sites down by London Docks, a co-working space called Expressway. So we got a cable car over, and it was good. I recorded some footage and went on one of the videos that we did, so it's cool.
Damn, that's It's just so good. I mean, anyone following the brand, they're just going to love that honest window into it. But also, I mean, just with my recruitment hat on, you get that stuff right now as you grow it and build that like employer brand over the next couple of years. That'll sort your recruitment out. You'll be saving money for years to come. Got to get it down there. Yeah, so I guess just finally, just any advice, resources, qualities, attributes you think people need to develop for them to be successful in your space in that kind of exciting FMCG tech and retail crossover, because it's a unique space and a lot of people are interested in it and wondering, how do I get into it? What do I need to do and to be good at it and to have an opportunity to go and work somewhere cool like Martee's?
Yeah, probably a few things. I mean, I think it can be very frustrating, right? Like there are a lot of moving parts in food that don't exist, especially in fresh food, that don't exist in other industries. So I think accepting from the start that sometimes you're going to have to deal with like firefighting, supply chain, all the different parts that exist within making a business like that work. It's just kind of part and parcel of it. Then I'd say on the other side, one thing that has struck me, and Harry and I both come from food backgrounds, but one thing that struck me again and again and again is that people that go into this sector are really good in general, really nice, really good people, in a way that I'm not sure is true everywhere. And I think that is something that if you give people the time of day, you help others, you chat to people, you befriend others, that there is just so much that comes back to help you. And we've definitely seen such benefits of just being friendly to other people and curious about other people, whether that's in brands or in other kind of retail settings. And I think that is just such a cool part of being successful in this space, is just really, really leaning into those relationships.
And for me, I think if you're trying to start, if someone's got an idea to start a business, I think the best thing to do is stop thinking and start.
Yeah.
And get on with it and put it out there. Like, put something out there so people can see it. If it's very MVP, it's basic, but then let people try it. If they like it, then go from there, I think. And then you looking for lucky breaks the whole time. Our first site was our lucky break within the first couple of weeks that allowed us to see if people actually wanted to buy our food from our solution. So just start. And then once you kind of started launching, use data to improve, optimize, and grow your business, because that's what's going to allow you to make the right decisions. And I suppose then from the flip side, if someone's looking to then work for a company in FMCG, go back to first principles, do things that are going to impress the founders, the senior people that are hiring. Do something different. I don't know, send something to their office or do something wacky that's going to get their attention. Think outside the box. And then that, for me, is going to mean that someone is going to get the job over any CV achievement that they've done.
Yeah, hustle and energy are just so key, because it is, it's brilliant fun, but it requires a lot of resilience and optimism, I think, as well, to get through the tough times. So definitely like demonstrating those things.
That's really, really great advice. Thank you for sharing. Just diving into your backgrounds then, Harry and Lucy, can you just give us a bit of a view on what backgrounds you've had, in terms of the sector? Touched on FMCG earlier, but sector and also kind of companies, just to give people a bit of a picture on, you and where you come from and your story.
Cool. Yeah, so I come from a background in product and tech. So I started my career at Sky and then did a number of different things in terms of digital transformations for the public sector. But then I've always loved food, massive foodie. So I started my first startup in the height of the first lockdown. So it was April 21, called Plate Away. It was a restaurant marketplace, and we essentially signed up loads of restaurants that basically have to support production in London, and we help them deliver restaurant meal kits, a bit like what HelloFresh do, but restaurants with their secret ingredients in the box, and managed to ship them nationwide. So we brought all these UK brands that were in London, and everyone could experience them far and wide throughout the UK. So fantastic, and as you can imagine, learned loads from that business. In every area, and that was an amazing 3-year journey. So, Lucy?
Yeah, my background, I was an early employee at Wheezy, the rapid grocery company. So saw that grow. I built out the fresh assortment and managed that, as well as doing snacks and sweets. So worked with quite a lot of different brands as kind of like an account manager. I also built out our campaigns arm. So I did a lot of activation work, kind of test and learn projects with FMCG as well. I think Harry and I both bring quite a lot of the things we learn about sort of last mile space, aggregation, working with brands into what we're doing with Martees as well, which is why we feel like we're pretty well set up to give this a good crack.
Yeah, that's a great background. That's really interesting. Just out of interest, Harry, is Play Away still going? Did you divest it, sell it? Did it merge into something else?
Yeah, so it is someone acquired the business through. So I call it So someone acquired it. It's still going in different angles. I think someone's got a new take to it, but they're taking it on. And I'm doing Martees now. So.
Cool, right, really interesting. Thank you. Just on that point then, so that people can follow you properly and get right into the detail of the story, just give us your social handles. Where's the best place for people to follow you with all the fresh content that you're putting out there?
Yeah, so give us a follow on Instagram. We're at martee.co.uk, so martee.co.uk. And we also have the same handle for our website. Website's a great place to go to find out a bit more about us, about our background, and then also if you're interested to get in touch or kind of keep up to date with what's going on at Martees, you can just pop your email in there as well. It's also a great place to come if you're looking to put a Martees store in a place of work or other venue.
Excellent, right. Go and check out those handles. Everyone, thank you very much for listening. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.